Tubular, that's a great one.
Tubular.
All right, we're good?
Yep.
We're live.
Cosmic
That's how I always
Chaos.
start off. We're live. Yeah, Cosmic Chaos. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks for having
All
us.
the way from Austin, Texas.
Yes. Let's start with you, your name and your instrument.
Hi, my name's Trey. I play drums.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I play guitar and I sing.
My name's Ian and I play bass.
Very nice, very nice. And you'll also have another member or possibly another one as well?
Yeah, we have two members. 4 usually is like the full band. But his name is Chris and he plays lead guitar. And then we have Joseph playing conga and keys sometimes.
Very nice. It's filling out the sound.
How did were y'all the first 3 to come together? How did y'all meet and come together?
It
The two
was
of us,
actually
yeah.
us first. In Bryan, in College Station, we met at the bar playing open mic.
Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
then we've had a couple drummers, mostly Trey now for the last 4 or 5 months, and we used to play with this guy called David who now has his own band. They're really cool too. They're called Hia. So
Okay, nice.
Yeah?
yeah,
That's awesome.
HYA.
Yeah.
exactly.
How did y'all meet the other two, the guitarist and the conga keys?
Chris and I met at school. We study audio together
Very
in
cool.
Austin, and Trey and I met on Instagram.
I need a drummer, if
Yeah.
no one's available, hit me up. And my other band we still play, but he moved cities, so we weren't playing as much, and I was like, oh, I need something to do, so I just hit her up. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really glad. It was super
That's
good
awesome.
timing.
And I had seen them play before I was in the band, a few times. I was like, oh, they're really cool.
And I had seen his old band play without him.
Yeah.
Before he was in the old band. So,
I just jump in bands.
Yeah.
Whenever they need
That's
drummers.
but I was like, cool. He played with that band. They were good. I'm down. And then the first time we ever played together was also the first time Chris, our guitar player, and I jammed like that.
Oh, wow.
He had played drums for us before.
Yeah.
Just whenever we didn't have a drummer, he would fill in, or and that was really fun. That was a great day. We decided that was it. So
Yeah.
Very nice. Lineup set.
yeah, it worked out really well.
That's sweet. So, how long have y'all been in this project?
Since we started, it's been, what,
Like a year
2?
now.
Has it just been a year?
Yeah, a year and a half now actually. Since March last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's when we had
Just
our
over a year.
first rehearsals with Ian and the band in College Station, and our first drummer, and then
We went through a few different drummers. But
it was weird.
yeah.
Drummers are so hard to find and
Yes, they
keep.
are.
Because
Yeah.
also in Bryan College Station, every drummer already has 3 bands.
Lots.
So
Everyone's busy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we moved to Austin and found Trey for sure.
That's
No
awesome.
shortage of drummers there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Musicians in
Um,
general, probably. Too.
What was y'all's vision for the band? Did y'all have a certain band that y'all were like, yes, this is kind of what, or a sound?
I guess it was actually led a lot by our other local bands and local friends, just seeing them be really good and be like, oh, maybe we can be there one day. And
Yeah.
then those bands either stayed small or we found bigger bands that we wanted to be like, and
Yeah.
I guess that's for me at least.
It's cool to be influenced by
Yeah.
mostly local people that you know and play with.
I think that it's just because you can learn from people that you play with the most. So if I'm playing with someone that's really good in another local band, just jamming or whatever, I can learn a lot from them. So
You just learn the most from playing with other people, for sure. That was, playing with people is
That's
the
the
best.
best way.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. That's one thing I really like about this iteration of the band. I mean, everyone that we've ever played with, but especially right now, where it's I'm constantly blown away by my bandmates, and I'm just like, wow, you were so good at what you're doing, it's amazing, and that's with everybody else in the band. So it feels really good to play
especially
as a group.
when we play as a 5-piece and it's
Yeah.
everything is so complete
comes
and
together,
full
yeah.
right now, and it sounds so nice.
It's fun having more people on stage with you too.
Yeah.
Just
Definitely.
kick up
Has
the energy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then let's just ask each individual, what's your favorite band or top bands that you're mostly influenced by?
Off the top of my head, I would just say Ty Siegel.
Okay.
Sure, don't steal my answer.
Yeah, no copycat answers either.
Like he's just my biggest influence, like overall, in like anything. I also like record my own like solo stuff, and he kind of inspired me to do that as well.
Big time.
Yeah. It's pretty much just a rip off of Ty Siegel. honestly, so.
That's pretty cool.
Never be bad. I could never do that.
Yeah, right?
I guess for me, Twin Peaks and the RLRs are big, and then Ty Siegel.
Yeah.
Mostly for like the newer stuff. The old stuff, I feel like it's Twin Peaks RLR-esque. The newer stuff, a lot more Ty.
Yeah, totally.
Very nice.
Yeah, for me, I'd say I've gone through a lot of like different iterations of like my top bands. This is like a really big question for me. The one band I could say like consistently for the longest period of time would probably be Queens of the Stone Age. Like that ever since I was like 15 and I found them. That's been it for me. And then Wilco is really big for me. There's a folk guy called Andy Schaff who I love, Andrew Bird, and Buchan Gase. They're out of Brooklyn. They're this two-piece that play like these like custom-built instruments, and they're incredible. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know they were a two-piece. How do they make so many
It's
noises?
I don't know. It's incredible.
It's amazing.
I saw them open for Battles in Austin one time, and that was just a crazy show. That was incredible.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That goes to my next question. What's the best show you've ever seen?
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Favorite show? Best
Roger Waters'
experience?
The Wall. For
Oh,
sure.
wow. Where'd you see
Hands
him at?
down, yeah.
Where'd you see him?
I saw him in Mexico City actually,
Wow.
and we had really, really good seats, and it was
His I think I've seen pictures, but I think it was at the Dallas Cowboys stadium.
oh my god.
And his projectors that he had
Yes.
were unreal. I mean, I didn't
It's-
go, but
the
I've
whole
seen
show is just crazy.
They're like this big,
Yeah.
and his projections are like fucking
Yeah.
ginormous.
Literally,
It's
the
insane.
show started with a plane flying into the stage. Like,
What?
exactly. No, I'm so
Yeah.
serious
I
right
don't know
now.
how they do it. It's nuts.
That's how amazing it
That's
was.
wild,
That's
so,
awesome.
hands down. But I would also say, like, local bands. I've seen so many good local shows in College Station and in Austin. Like,
Yeah.
Daikaiju.
Daikaiju, that's definitely my number one. They're this. I think they're out of Alabama, and they're like a surf punk, like Japanese like monster movie inspired surf punk band,
Nice.
and it's all instrumental. And they wear these like kabuki masks, and they're shirtless and just crazy, and they like
Burn their
they
instruments.
stage dive and shred, and at the end of their set they like set stuff on fire, and it's just like it's insane. It's just absolute insanity.
What are they called?
Daikaiju.
Daikaiju.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Daikaiju, I think.
And also,
They're great.
we've got really lucky with Daikaiju shows because they don't burn their instruments at every show.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
talked to a
that's-
bunch of people that saw them in Austin, and they did
They
not have a
didn't.
good show. Like, as good of a show as we did in
Oh
Bryan.
man,
The
yeah.
show in Bryan was
It was-
way better.
it was nuts, yeah.
So, that's pretty good.
Another one, one that I was really surprised by was I mean I shouldn't say surprised by, but like Foo Fighters. I saw them at ACL or Lollapalooza or something, and you know one of those festivals. And at the time, Dave Grohl had a broken leg, and so he was like on this big throne thing, and like that guy. And I mean, it makes sense. Like he's been, he was in Nirvana. Like he's been a legend in music since forever. But like that guy can hold an audience without even getting up from a chair. Like his stage presence is incredible. He's so charismatic. That's definitely one of like the top performances I've seen.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I want to watch a video of this.
Yeah, it's great.
It is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally sitting there with the thing.
Yeah, it's just like this. So he has like all these guitars and just
Yeah.
switching them out.
I definitely sprained my ankle like a week before tour.
You like Dave Grohl?
And I definitely fell off my amp trying to jump off
Oh,
the stage
yeah, I saw
that.
last night at the show.
Uh,
But it was cool. It was fine.
Rock
Nothing
and
happened.
roll. It's punk rock, man.
Played it off.
Yeah, right.
I still got up and then jumped off later.
That's awesome.
It's those special little things like lighting your
Yeah.
instruments on fire. You gotta make it different,
right.
unique every show.
Wait, what's your favorite concert?
Oh man,
That Taiwan was good.
That Ty one was good, but I already said he's my favorite artist. So
Can't give him everything.
Yeah.
This guy just loves Ty. No.
Probably like Hillary Duff. Energy. No.
Hillary Duff Fox.
Hey man, you know.
Hillary Duff
yeah.
No. Probably like the OCs.
Very nice.
Yeah, because I saw him at Sound on Sound. Well, one year it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, they were like, "Oh, do you guys want like a punk set or like a long like droned out like psychedelic set?" And they ended up going with like the punk set,
Yeah.
and like it was just
Very
really
nice.
energetic. I was like in the crowd, everyone was like moving around. It was
That's
really good.
awesome.
And like John Dwyer's just awesome. He had like
So
this
much
huge.
energy, man.
Yeah, like the 2 drummers and like a huge like setup of amps. And
They had 2 drummers. I
Two
didn't know
drummers.
that.
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, and like
That's
he had
awesome.
this keyboard like right behind him that he would start playing every once in a while too.
Oh,
And it was
sick.
it was a cool show.
That must have been where King Giz stole their
Yeah.
idea, right? They loved
Someone
the
did it
OCs.
first.
Yeah. And then
Radiohead.
The last King Gizzard show in Austin was really good too.
At
It was-
Stubbs?
Yeah.
I was there last weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
that was
Okay.
awesome. It was their
It
like,
was
tour
great.
closing show.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Yeah,
Honestly,
wow.
one of the best musical performances I've seen in my life.
Yeah, they're
amazing.
great. They're
We saw them
great.
at Trees. Well, I guess last year, or was it still this year? I think it was still this year.
It was 2017.
Was
We
it?
saw them at a little more, definitely a smaller venue than Stubbs,
Yeah.
Where-
amphitheater here in Dallas,
Ah.
and that's always cool. More
Yeah.
intimate venues
Yeah,
are
for
always.
sure.
It's fun to see those big shows, but
Yeah, no.
yeah, just
We saw them. I saw them at Mohawk last year, and it was smaller but crazier than Stubbs.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Because it was so packed,
Intimate, yeah.
and people just went wild. So
Wild.
I lost both my shoes there, but I got them both back.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
King Gizzard.
Yeah, right.
They'll say last song and then play for 30 more minutes.
Yeah,
It's
like
awesome.
just jam. It's
Yes.
like what are you guys even playing? What is this song?
Exactly.
7, 8
Awesome.
musicians going at it.
Yeah.
Bound to never run
seriously.
out of ideas, right?
Especially because they're
Keep
all so well connected nowadays and play
Yeah.
so well together.
Yeah, and they're all in like
Simple.
different projects as well. Some of them.
Yeah, most of them have their own.
Their own thing going on too. Yeah.
Very
Um,
cool guys.
what's your biggest onstage mistakes? You said you sprained your ankle just a little bit ago.
Falling off the amp is definitely the most embarrassing thing. It's never happened before. I usually do the jump, but I haven't done it in a while because of the sprained ankle. Also, I usually have a bigger amp, but we're touring with the smallest amount of things that we can.
That makes
So
sense.
it's like a tiny amp.
It makes sense. I mean, you gotta sacrifice because you don't want to break your back every night.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it's a lot lugging it in, or you
Yeah.
have to go upstairs or downstairs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
26-inch bass drum, man.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah,
that thing
right.
around. Everyone watches me and is like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not want to carry that.
We didn't even bring drums on tour, dude.
Yeah, we just back
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Just like-
Well, that's nice that they
best.
can backline it, or
Yeah.
you know, you can ask the
Yeah.
bands that are playing. That's nice.
Yeah, we
Uh,
arranged everything so that it was.
That's
other
awesome.
background, yeah.
Most kits are better than mine anyways, so like it just sounds good, you know.
We played a cool Gretsch prototype in Kansas City.
Yeah, that was pretty tight.
And it doesn't have like a snare stand, it's attached from the bottom so that there's nothing in the way.
Whoa.
And it was really cool.
Like
Everything was angled perfectly.
Yeah.
Wow.
really? Like attached to like the kick drum.
No, it's like
Like-
so.
Like a cymbal stand or something?
It kind of. It almost looks like this almost,
Yeah.
and it's just like so. There's like the tom right here and the snare right here, and like it's all connected together. And then
Like
the
these
cymbal stands right
tubes.
here too, and then there's another one on the other side for the for like a ride cymbal and another crash or something.
Okay,
And
cool.
so pretty much you just need those 2 things instead of like a bunch of stands.
Yeah,
And,
that's cool. Though.
but I guess it never got produced or anything. It was just a
Yeah.
prototype.
It seems like it'd be hard to
Oh.
move around.
Yeah, it was a little heavy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
But besides that, like I don't know. It
But
seemed like
that's good because heaviness makes since everything's attached together,
That's
when
true.
you record it, it probably has like rebound, so it's
That's a
probably
good
heavy
point.
so that it doesn't
Yeah.
resonate with each other.
Resonate, vibrate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
weird noises.
I just hit him, man.
That's it, right?
It was definitely a cool kit for sure.
What was y'all's first show like?
Oh, dude.
First show ever, definitely a Rev.
Yeah. It was like on a Tuesday night.
Is that the one we played with Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we our drummer that wasn't our drummer like couldn't play that show,
Yeah.
and I think he only played like 2 shows with us.
Yeah.
Our first drummer.
So one of the other bands that was coming into from Houston to play with us, we asked if their drummer would
Fill in for us.
fill in. So like that day he showed up and we did like a 2-hour jam session practicing for the set. He'd never heard any of the songs before, and then it went all right.
It went well. He was like a drummer that I had jammed with in Houston a lot before.
Yeah.
We were in bands together before in high school, so it was.
A little bit of chemistry there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
He's super cool. Thank you, Connor.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Connor.
Thanks.
Shout out to Mikey.
Yeah, shout out to
Sam,
Mikey. Yeah, totally.
All the drummers we had
Yeah,
that
David.
are not Trey.
Behold the latest and greatest.
Honestly.
Thank you.
Y'all just came out with an album.
Yeah, we just came out with an EP,
Okay.
but yeah, it's the first songs we wrote at the beginning, and we recorded everything with 2 mics in our home.
Nice. Door
Trace.
style.
Yeah.
Trace bedroom. Yeah.
Secret Soup Studios.
Secret
The secret soup. I like it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And then honestly, we mixed we finished recording and mixed it the day we played the first show of the tour. So we just put it out and like
So that was like a week ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just put it out. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Congrats,
just-
guys. That's
How many
awesome.
songs?
4 songs.
4 songs.
Yeah. It's called Caos, which means chaos in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Chaos.
I'm Colombian. So.
Very cool.
What are your plans for the next batch of songs to release? Do you have any new songs?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
We definitely have a lot of new material that we want to put out. That's why we put this one out kind of in such a rush, because we were just like, these songs have been carried for almost a year and we just need to let them go and go on tour and like have something out. So, but we're already started recording the second record and should be out in this fall probably. We have a big Halloween show coming up, so maybe around
that's
then
the
we'll
best.
release it.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd
not
be
really
cool.
sure.
Those the best.
Yeah.
What costume ideas? Have y'all thought about them? yet?
Oh.
I had a few. There's
I have a few also.
Yeah. I just bought a Stetson, like an old cowboy hat, in a thrift store in-
nice,
in
dude,
Kansas
yeah.
City. So, yeah.
That's cool.
So maybe something.
Those are good hats, man.
Yeah,
Those
that
are
was
good
solid.
You
hats.
should be a space cowboy.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Astronaut
I'm
suit.
between
Yeah.
like Safari Ranger and Powerpuff Girls.
Oh yeah, Power
And there's
Girls.
like two friends of mine from Austin that are also instrumental girls that play instruments, and we're maybe gonna be the Powerpuff Girls, the 3 of us.
Nice.
That would be awesome.
I'm either like between like Marty McFly. This seems like it'd be pretty easy to do,
Yeah.
and Back to the Future is a good movie.
I'm just talking about that.
Or like there's this movie called Carnival of Souls, and it's like this 60s like horror movie, and there's like these ghouls in it, and it's pretty simple. I just need like a tattered suit and like face paint to paint my face white or something. So there's that. Yeah, I want to be a ghoul.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
You guys should check it out. It's a good old horror movie. if
What's
you're
it called
into
again?
that. Carnival of Souls.
Carnival.
Yeah,
Soul.
it was like
That's a great name.
yeah, it was one of the first like
We should write a song
independent
called that.
horror.
Soul
Yeah.
Souls. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
What's the best costume you've ever worn before? Sorry, I just took over the.
No, that's a great question. That's a great question.
Probably in 2nd grade.
Ooh.
I want to say it was a ghoul also, but a different kind. It was kind of like a hooded
I'm noticing a
ghoul.
pattern here.
It's always been this way.
Noticing a huge
And like
pattern.
it had like colored eyes and stuff. It was awesome. Like my head was covered, and I won the costume contest at school.
Nice.
Nice.
That's why I
That's
think
why
it's
you
That
like
would be the
ghouls.
best. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite costume that I've ever worn, this one time I went there's this old N64 game called Banjo-Kazooie, and I got this
Yeah.
like,
Banjo-Kazooie.
and I got this like
No way.
it's like a hat beanie thing that's a bear. So I wore that, and then I got some yellow shorts and a blue backpack, and then I put like an angry bird, like the red one, and I put that one in the blue backpack. And so it was perfect. I was super proud of it. I lost the hat, so that was
Oh,
a
no.
big bummer. That's probably my favorite that I've done, but one thing that it's kind of like my go-to like lazy costume. I'm going to a Halloween party and I need something last minute. I came up with this one time that like I needed a costume in 5 minutes. So I went to Lowe's and I found they have these little like LED lights that like you peel off the back and it's like a sticker.
Yeah.
So you stick it to something and it's just like a button that you press and there's a battery in there that lights up.
Iron
And,
Man.
and then I
That's
put it
exactly-
under my shirt, press the button, Iron Man. The great thing
Oh
about
my
it is that
God.
like if you don't want to be dressed in a Halloween costume, you just press the button and you're like totally incognito. It's perfect.
Just wear it under your
so
shirt. It's a big
smart.
light. You're like, what is that?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. That's great.
That's kind of really good.
It's
idea.
really
Wow.
good.
I've done it like 4 years in a row now.
Just wear like
Wow.
normal clothes and get away with it. That's awesome.
Damn.
Damn, that's smart. It's like one of those under cabinet lights or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stick
It's
it-
just stupid. Yeah.
You get like a clap on, clap off.
Yeah. Right.
That would be good. People would turn it on for you all night.
I was SpongeBob once.
Nice.
And that's why I asked the
Gosh.
question, because I just wanted to tell everybody that I was
That's
SpongeBob.
awesome.
SpongeBob's great.
Is that like the one piece you just like slip
Yeah, I
it
had
over?
a giant like one piece square thing, and I was like,
yeah.
yeah, and I wore like really squeaky shoes that day. The squeakiest shoes I owned.
You gotta go deep.
Yeah.
Method. How'd y'all come up with Cosmic Chaos?
It came to me in a dream. It was just like part of my dream that we were in the cosmos, causing chaos.
Nice.
And
That's awesome.
I actually wanted to be called La Luz first, but I found out there's already a band called La Luz. and I was
Are you,
like,
did you really not know there
I
was
didn't
that
know.
band? They're great.
No,
This
it
is
was like
good.
2 years
Yeah.
ago, almost 3 years ago that I came up with the name, and I was like, no idea.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
funny.
And they're
It was so sad. I went up to my friend at the bar, who is one of the people that I really looked up to music-wise, and I was like, dude, my band is gonna be called La Luz. And he was like, ha.
Like they just played Psych Fest.
Literally just came
He
through
was
last
like,
week.
that's a really good band already, so joke's on you. And I was like, dude, they don't even speak Spanish. I'm Colombian.
What is that? I mean, I think I.
It
remember,
means
but I
just
don't.
the light.
Yeah,
light,
yeah,
okay,
that's
very
very cool.
cool. Yeah.
We just looked that up not too long ago.
Yeah.
'Cause they dropped a new album. So
Yes,
check
it's
that
you
out.
guys
really
are playing a song
good.
right now.
Yes.
Earlier.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
It was. Yeah.
I wanted to mention. I was like, yeah, it's a good song. But
Great song. How do you? What's your creative process like? How do you guys write songs?
Well, the new ones we just do it together. Like she
Yeah.
comes up with the riff, I strum to it.
Yeah. And then we're like, I guess we just jam it out at first. Mostly, yeah, the newer songs, which is a lot of the ones we played today. Only the first song is an old song that's on the record.
Okay.
Everything else is new stuff. And it's been just, yeah, either I come up with something or like I came up with something and played it and then he did something else and it changes completely into that.
Riff on each other sometimes.
Yeah, but it's been pretty much just jamming and then coming up with different parts. We do like to do a lot of transition things
Mhm.
to keep it more interesting for us, I think,
Oh, yeah.
and more fun to go through the songs, and that's pretty much it.
I
And then I
think
take those jams home and write words to it.
Most definitely.
I think the older songs are definitely more like sing-songy, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Because I wrote those like alone without a band, really.
Yeah,
Just
So-
kind of like a straight sort of thing, and the other ones are kind of more all over the place.
Yeah.
for sure.
More riff-based, I guess.
Yeah. True.
That's nice. So
Are your-
evolving for sure.
Are your family and friends supportive of what y'all do?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I for at least my parents, I don't think they understand really what's going on. Like, they don't get that I'm actually on tour. I don't think they understand like, that it works
Just
like
going
that.
on a road trip.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just like really confused about the whole thing all the time. But it's okay. They come to the shows sometimes. And
Yeah.
I used to have this high school band that was a lot poppier and more indie, and they still ask me to play those songs. They're like, why don't you sound like that anymore? But it's rock and roll, mom.
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
What do you guys have any guilty pleasures? Bands, music you wouldn't want to tell people you listen to? You get in your car alone and you're like, fuck it, I'm alone, I'm gonna listen to this.
Uh-huh.
I was telling them yesterday, I was honestly played it the entire
Oh,
way
yeah.
from like Kansas to Denton. I was like, all right, we're listening to the first record, and then we're listening to the new one. And they were like, oh man,
Of who?
Mom Jeans.
Mom jeans?
Yes.
I didn't mind it actually.
No, they're pretty good.
I'm into like the
It's
the
like
math
a-
rock like emo thing.
It's like
cool.
it's pop punky math rock
Very cool.
emo
Yeah.
band, and
The-
I mean we
the-
usually listen to like a lot of psychedelic music, so
Yeah.
that's definitely
Yes.
not the.
It's not a bad thing.
But I love Mom Jeans. They just put me in a mood.
Mom jeans. They get you in your mom jeans. Do you have any pet peeves musicians do?
Wait,
you
I
play
want to know
with?
your guilty pleasure.
Like, it's probably also like a lot of emo like math stuff. Just because it was, you know.
Everyone's guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some other stuff like some like smooth like 70s stuff. you know,
Oh
that,
yeah,
like,
Todd.
I love Todd Rundgren. Just like I love singing to like "Hello, It's Me" and like all this like
Yeah.
really like
Rock Lobster.
Yeah.
or like just like Steely Dan or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they know already by now. Like
Yeah.
I've just been like
This
blasting.
whole road trip.
Back, Jack.
Do it again.
Down, down, down.
So good.
Ever since I bought a cowboy hat, I've been listening to
Oh.
a lot of John Denver.
John Denver's great. Dude, I love John Denver. I have his album.
That's been like my soundtrack since I bought that
The
hat.
brownstone cowboy.
Oh, come on. Now.
Oh,
great.
that's so good.
best.
I recently I've actually had this like weird thing. I've been kind of getting into like classical music. Like I bought a couple records. I saw this thing online and it was like, oh yeah, like this is the original version of the theme song for Babe. And it turns out it's Camille Saint-Saëns who's like this composer, and I don't know all that much. I'm like just starting to learn about it now. And so now I've been like, you know, getting into all these like composers, and I'll just like, you know, there's this whole like hour-long thing that you can just put up on Spotify or YouTube or whatever and just listen to it and just, you know, do whatever. And I've been getting into that recently. Camille Saint-Saëns is really cool. Debussy is really cool. I've been trying to learn like Clair de Lune on piano, but I'm not actually that good at
Oh,
piano.
that's where that came from.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's my goal is to be able to play it by the end of summer.
Dude,
But
yes.
we'll see.
The last show we played this summer, you should play it. Just
Yeah,
end the
totally.
show and you
Yeah.
just pull in with your piano.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, right.
Lights go out. And it's just Ian playing Claire de Lune.
Spotlight, yeah.
We also listen to a
Piano
lot
man.
of foreign music, like
Yeah.
a lot of Brazilian music,
Mhm.
a lot of Portuguese music, also just from Portugal,
Yeah.
and Italian music. I speak Italian. He's from Brazil.
Mhm.
Very nice. You're like from Brazil?
My mom's from Brazil.
Very cool.
I grew up here, but I've lived there, you know,
Nice.
kind of back and forth.
That's awesome.
And yeah, my mom, a lot of the music that like, she's always like, she grew up listening to the Beatles and introduced me to the Beatles really early, which I think for like a lot of people who are into music, that's, you know, a really important,
Yes.
you know, introduction. And then like, as a teenager, she always introduced me to a lot of different Brazilian artists, specifically like artists from the 60s, Chico Buarque, Milton Nascimento, Tom Jobim. There's, you know, Chico Buarque in particular is like my favorite songwriter ever. Like he's like Paul Simon, you know,
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah.
really important. And
When I first met Ian, he used to cover this Chico Buarque
Yeah.
song, and that's when I was like, dude, I just need to have a band with that guy.
yeah,
He fucking sings in Portuguese and he's cool as hell. So
yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's a big influence for me musically, and yeah.
What are some interesting things you've learned from being on tour so far?
dude, like Colorado's best thing is just marijuana. There's literally nothing else there.
Really?
No.
Is people cool?
The people
They're
are
nice.
they're nice. They're weird. I don't know. It's just
Is
weird.
it like Denver? Or?
Like, yeah, Denver. I think Colorado has like beautiful nature, but
Everything else, yeah, so
dude, the music scene is just not as cool as we wanted it to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We were only there for one night. I
That's-
think it was
that's
just a bust of a show.
We,
That's
we,
also true.
we might have had bad luck. We had a lot
It
more
wasn't
fun
like a
in Kansas
bad
City.
show. The place had great sound and it
place
was a
was
cool
cool.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest thing on tour has literally been that we don't really pay for drinks. Like we haven't really spent money on
Yeah,
That's
alcohol.
been good.
That's
What about free food? You get hooked up like
Dude,
shitty bar
no.
food anywhere?
Oh yeah, we did in Denver.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They had pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls, yeah.
And they were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like ranch and
the
stuff,
bartender was like, dude, the pizza rolls are really bad. Like, you should go next door. They have $3 pizza. And I was like, yeah, but these are free.
Free.
That's $3.
Don't
Denver
get
was
it.
great. No, I'm kidding.
I'm on tour.
Yeah.
It was really good. And they had ranch and barbecue sauce behind the
Very
bar.
nice.
Come
Damn.
on.
Yeah.
Packing a punch.
I think one thing I've definitely learned on tour is any opportunity you have to take a shower should definitely be capitalized upon. That's an important lesson.
I can only imagine.
Another thing has just been, or not that I learned on tour, but like a cool thing that we've done on tour with this band has been like pushing each other maybe when it's really late to go out and
Yeah.
like keep
Oh yeah.
partying or keep
Yeah.
like
Meeting
having
people,
fun,
yeah.
meeting people, or
Experience the
Exactly.
city. Yeah.
Because like
Exactly.
sometimes after a show, I have definitely been really tired and been like, we should just go to sleep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Trey's like, nah, let's go. Come on, we're in Kansas City or we're in like wherever
Yeah.
we are. And
Yeah.
That's awesome.
it's super important to have
That's
that.
very cool.
At the end of the day, you'll
Yeah.
never regret that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, never. Have not regretted. Well, except in the morning.
Yeah, the morning.
A little bit, but
Somehow those mornings come around.
yeah.
But we've managed to be really good. The first day in Denver was not good at like waking up and doing things.
Yeah.
But ever since then, we've been really good at still waking up and early-ish and like doing things in
Yeah.
the day, not wasting the day sleeping.
That's awesome.
We got here about like 15 minutes late.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, y'all are good. Don't worry about that.
Y'all were just in Denton. Did you do anything other than go to
Yeah.
the venue, hang out?
We went to a coffee place this
Yeah,
morning.
it was actually Denton. I feel was the most well, maybe not the most jam-packed. Kansas was more jam-packed, but Denton was really cool because we have friends there.
Yeah.
So it was like house show was amazing, and then there was a huge after party at our other friend's house. So we got a ride there, which was awesome, and then we went to this coffee place this morning, or like a breakfast place called Loco Cafe.
Yeah.
This is the coffee man right here.
Oh, yes, coffee's life, man.
We were sold because they have said that their ice cubes were made out of coffee, and we're like, let's
It was
go.
beautiful.
Yeah.
This whole time, like, we just had like pretty mediocre coffee. I was like, alright, whatever. But it was like just beautiful cold brew.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
it really was so good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love coffee. Can't live
That
without
was
it.
really cool.
Actually, I have an answer for the question before what we learned on tour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 To make sure your car is in good condition.
Oh.
So,
time.
This is yeah. So this is
This tour has just had a lot of hiccups.
yeah. So we're driving a 2010 Hyundai Santa Fe, which is like my. Originally, we were gonna take Laura's car, and that car is
No
kind of
longer.
not really alive anymore.
Which is how I sprained my ankle. Also.
And then so now we're in the Santa Fe. We got out of Austin pretty late. After we had our first date in Austin Monday, and then we left Tuesday kind of late. So we were like, we'll just do like an overnight kind of drive. We have a lot of people, we can take shifts, get
Yeah.
Red Bulls, whatever.
Just go straight to Colorado.
Yeah, and then about 3 hours out of Austin, we got pulled over in a place called Bang, Texas, and I missed. I was going like 4 over, and then I missed where it went down by 5, so I was going 9 over. It got me. Okay, you know what? Speeding ticket, that's fine. Then we keep heading down the road. About 2 minutes later, we get pulled over again. And I think it's the same cop. And I'm like, I know I was not fucking speeding. Like, I definitely wasn't. And so we pull over again, and like, I assumed the same cop had like followed me. And turns out it was a different cop, highway patrolman. He was like, hey, you have a headlight out. I'm like, okay, shit. Like, we were going to drive overnight to Denver. And,
Denver.
like,
Like,
that's a problem. So then,
Jeez.
it's like, okay, where's the next like Walmart? So we drive to Walmart. It's about an hour up the road. We get pulled over again on the way
No
there,
way.
and like immediately we're just like, hey, no, like we got a warning. We're fixing it. Like, and
we're
she
on
was
our
like,
way to the fix.
yeah, and like she was
Where
like,
was
yeah,
this?
totally cool.
This was like in Abilene, Texas at this
Yeah,
point.
this is coming up on Abilene. Yeah.
Don't drive in Abilene.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Bang, Texas. Like, it'll
Yeah.
take you out, dude.
no,
Fuck.
Bang's like a really. That's probably like 200 people or something.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah,
It's
and
West Texas.
Very
And then we went into Walmart, and it was like a 24-hour Walmart that we had to walk through one door and then walk all the way to the back and the other side.
Yep.
We found the headlight we needed. We went, we replaced it.
Yeah.
Still wouldn't turn on.
Oh,
And as it turns out, so we went back into Walmart and got a wrench set so that we could actually take out the assembly and see what was happening. This whole situation took like 2 hours that we're just in a parking lot in Abilene, Texas, of a Walmart
Oh my god.
at midnight on the way to Denver.
Because we were just
This
like,
is the
if we
first.
keep going, like we're gonna get stopped how many times?
Yeah.
From here to Denver? Are you kidding me?
And so as it turns out, what happened was like there was a short circuit
Yeah.
somehow between the two wires that give power to that one light, and then they melted the plastic cap that holds them in place. So those wires are just like free hanging, and then like we kept driving. Whenever we got to Colorado, we stopped at a Hyundai dealership. They were like, yeah, we can sell you the entire headlight for $600. And so we were like, no. So then,
No.
yeah, and
We're
they're
like, we'll drive during the day.
exactly. So since then, we've just been driving during the day as much as possible.
We went to some junkyards to try to find a headlight that had the piece and just buy the piece,
Yeah,
but they didn't have it.
yeah. We went to a U Pull and Pay in Aurora, Colorado, and
Honestly,
it was
we
pretty
thought
fun.
that Colorado was gonna be a good place to find the piece because there are tons of junkyards. A lot of like industrial things
Yeah,
happen in Colorado and Denver apparently. So,
yeah,
but no.
No luck. Oh man.
yeah. So
That's
the
crazy.
But
the
we
first night
haven't
of
been
driving.
stopped since. So
Yeah.
Secondly,
It's been
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
big time.
we almost did in Lubbock. Got
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's we were at a light and this cop just passes by us and then we see it turn around and we're like,
no.
oh no, but the light turned green and we just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
dipped real quick.
that Buddy Holly statue.
Yeah, we stopped at the Buddy Holly statue. Yeah.
That's cool. Buddy Holly statue.
Yeah.
That's nice.
What is your spirit animal?
Oh yes.
I've been told my spirit animal is a squirrel. Maybe I'm very squirrely. But I'll go with that.
Squirrel.
Go
okay.
squirrel. Okay.
I was gonna say, as soon as you asked the question, I thought kangaroo, but I usually say dolphin. I don't know why I thought kangaroo. So
I could see you as a kangaroo.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hybrid kangaroo dolphin.
Yeah, right. A hybrid.
Ooh.
A liger.
The best of both worlds.
I've been told that I'm like a three-toed sloth, probably, which is probably isn't that inaccurate. I'm really into like red-tailed hawks. I think they're really cool. I like to like try to draw them, and they're badass.
Red
So.
tail hawk.
Yeah.
I think your laugh is definitely sloth.
I do have a sloth laugh. You're super right.
Who did y'all's your little EP artwork, like drawing?
My friend Allison. Shout out to Allison. She's super cool. I went to high school with her, and she always did like alien art T-shirts
Yeah.
and would sell them in school. So
Very cool.
I had like a bunch of her shirts in high school, and whenever we needed art, I was like, dude,
That's a perfect idea.
yeah.
Sure. Allison.
I was like,
Just like that.
I love your style, and like whatever you're doing, like could fit my band. So yeah, like I'll take it.
That is awesome.
So
That is very cool.
just joined forces.
It's cool. That looks cool. Also, did she do the like picture you have on your Facebook, the profile?
Yeah, she did that.
Cool.
She did our
Sticker.
album cover. She did our T-shirt design. She's
Okay,
done like a bunch of our
nice.
posters.
I didn't know
So-
she did the t-shirts.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was like one of her designs for something, and I was like, she sent it in a picture as it was like one of her posters that she was sending, and then the corner, it was those three faces in the
Mhm.
picture, and I was like, what's over there? Like, I want that.
What's that guy?
So yeah, she
What,
was like,
um,
I'm glad you like it, and she gave it to us.
You're trying to put out an album in the fall. You're saying?
Yeah.
And then this tour will be done.
Next week. We
Next
have
week.
all of Texas to go through now. It's Brian, San Marcos. We're playing 2 shows. One is Chill Bill, which is his band and his solo project. So
Chill
we'll,
Bill.
Chill
That's
Bill.
cool.
we'll all switch around and
Like
play
that.
for Chill Bill, and then we're doing a Cosmic Chaos show later that night. It's 4th of July, so that should be
Nice.
fun. And yeah, it's just like Texas.
Very cool. Very cool.
Back to school, pretty much.
And this current EP that you just released, people can find that online or on y'all's
Yes,
social media.
it's on Bandcamp.
Okay.
It's on our Instagram bio. It's
Cool,
just
cool,
Cosmic
cool.
Chaos, or search Secret Soup Records on Bandcamp, and it'll be.
Secret Soup.
On
Nice.
Secret
Soup
Yeah.
Records.
All
Chill
the
Bill will
plugs.
be there. Way to Go will be there. There's another band called Shower Beer.
Mhm.
Very nice.
He used to play drums for them.
Well, I still play drums for
Still
sure.
play drums. Very nice, man. That's awesome.
Thank you guys for coming out.
For sure.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
guys for
much.
having
This has
us.
been great.
Cosmic
Glad
Chaos,
y'all came through.
Bandcamp, Facebook.
We're on
Secret
Facebook,
Soup,
Instagram, and yeah, and Bandcamp.
Very nice, very nice. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and hope you have some safe travels on the rest of your tour.
Absolutely. Thank you
No
so
more
much.
tickets.
Thanks.
Pulling over at least. Right on.
Thanks
right on.
for having us, guys.
Yeah.
You're so
Yes,
welcome.
super
Yes,
fun.
most definitely. Thank God this hot ass crowd.
Yeah.